Peace, y'all. Let's have this conversation. It is Tuesday, 2 days away from my annual land giveaway. 2 days away from when we'll be giving away 1 acre of land for free. Let's talk about the topic tonight is the beginning stages of a land investor. I candidly remember the beginning stages of our land investor journey, our land investor career, right? We came in green-eyed, we came in eager, we came in excited, we came in not knowing much, but we did have the mentality and attitude that we was willing to learn. We did have a white belt mentality, and we both said to ourselves, just know that you don't know and be coachable. We did have that going for ourselves. And luckily for us, we came in through great mentorship. Now, this mentorship that we came into, we sat amongst a group of 500 men and women that didn't look like us. So I will say, excellent teaching, though. I say that to say that it doesn't necessarily mean or make a difference what your mentors look like. Is the information good? Is it transformational information? That's all that matters, in my opinion. Because if we didn't take that mentorship and if we didn't have those lessons, we probably wouldn't be here now. Because it's just the truth of the matter. I searched high, I searched low at the time to see if I could find more of us that was in the space. This is dating back 8 years ago. And now I can't 100% say that none of us existed in the space because that wouldn't be accurate. But I could say that we wasn't all over the place. I could say that. So as a new land investor, I would say, if you don't know, first accept the fact and live in that I don't know, but I'm coachable. I'm ready to learn. These are not new practices. We say that often. These are not new practices. In fact, these are quite old practices. They've been investing in land for a long, long time. We can date this back as far as you want to go back. Before you was born, we can date back these practices. It just always troubles me, and I scratch my head to how we in some of the times where information is so freely and so easy to find, but it's so little of us that's in this industry. So that's the only thing that I scratch my head about. Like, even if you chat GPT this or do a Google search on land investing for African Americans, it'll come up and it'll state to you that this is a new concept, because we do these things because we're constantly trying to grow and we're constantly trying to have an understanding of our audience. So we search these things and it states that this is new and the curation process needs to be hands-on and lengthy with dealing with our audience. Meaning that we have to keep our foot on the gas with pounding out this message because it's so new and foreign to people that look like us, to our ears. Now, if you know, you know. But for the most of us, data, right? We love to lean on data. The data states that this is a new concept for most of our people, and that's fair and that's fine. So, as a new land investor, that's why I wanted to pick that topic tonight, because most of you are probably going to be new to some extent and not have the same qualifications that we may have. And that's fine as well, too. I don't say that to brag or boast. I say that to say that we all had a first day. I just happen to have mine some years before yours. And I say that to say that if I did it, then you can do it. Now, there's a word called easy. Was it easy? As with anything, you had some ups, you had some downs, you had some losses, you had some wins. You can't get to wins without having losses. Even my mantra these days is the only way you can figure out how to do something right is by doing it wrong. So we throw around this term a lot, imperfect action. Take imperfect action immediately. Like when we say giveaway, you should probably be typing in giveaway in the chat right now to stand a chance at winning 1 acre of land. We've given away 9 acres so far. You should probably be typing in the chat right now the word giveaway to enter, because you never know. It might just be you. Now, if you don't believe that it'll be you, it probably won't be you, because there's something called the law of belief, right? So get started. We all have had a first day. You need to believe that this works or it doesn't work. And you need to believe that you could win the 1 acre of land. If you believe in the Acre Boys and the message that we put out there. So like tonight, as a new land investor, and when I talk about these, I use the word or the topic land investing because that's what our platform caters to, that message. But overall, these are life principles. Most people think that land is, oh, the Acre Boys in land. That is not really what has made us successful. Land is just the vehicle that we use. What has made us successful is that we found a vehicle that works, and we have changed our life principles to match that vehicle. Now it's a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage, and it works. Just like if you were investing in crypto, or if you were investing in stocks, or if you were opening up a new business, if there's no change in you personally, it doesn't work. And this is not different. If you're thinking about being a land investor, I'm sure we all agree that it works. The question is, will you be the one to make it work? Many have tried, many have succeeded, many have failed. So this is more about life principles. So inside of our community, we do something. Like, in fact, tonight, that call just went down about an hour ago. We do a mindset call. If the mind ain't right, then the grind ain't right. And the shine ain't bright. Y'all didn't know I had balls. And that's just the truth of the matter. She said life principles we were never taught. I may agree with that, but we do a lot of studying, right? And some of these things we study, they hit home hard. So in life principles that we was never taught, how hard did we look is the question. And sometimes that comes off as offensive, but it's the truth. How hard have we looked? Because if we peel back the cover on Black culture and the things that we push to the top in the forefront of Black culture, it's almost despicable and disgusting. So I question, how hard have we looked for things? So we throw around the phrase a lot, land has been hidden in plain sight. It has been hidden in plain sight. But until someone has come along, i.e. the Acre boys, and looked to sexy this message up, then it probably would still be hidden in plain sight. When we start speaking about this, we looked on the internet to see how many people were talking about it and how many people were looking to push this on a high level. Wasn't a lot that looked like us. It wasn't a lot that, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, that I felt that can bring some sauce to this message. That's why we chose to do certain things. That's why we chose the name Acre Boys. We like the name, but the name stuck because after people hearing it, it had a ring to it that matched with this industry. Acre Boys, Acre, and it just had like, it has an urban feel to it. We knew that we had to come that way from the urban approach to grab the attention of people. Because as I stated, this is back land ownership and land flipping, land investing. This really comes from biblical times. This has been going on forever. But it just wasn't exciting to us in our culture. Now, I'll give. It's reasons why it hasn't been exciting. So I'm not going to just sit here and say our culture is just into buffoonery and all of that stuff. It's been systematically a lot of things that has happened that has driven us away from these cultures and these practices. That is an actual fact. That's a fact. But a lot of those things that has happened may have not happened on your watch. They may have happened before your time. Because systematically how it's played now is done like in the open, but behind your back. There was a time where it was, let's just dive to how we got to this point, right? We got to this point because, and I'll speak a little faster. At one point, we were more prevalent in land ownership. We were more prevalent in farming. That's when we was thriving because the land equals, it's all kind of things you could do with land. You can live on it. You can farm it. You can grow crops. You can feed yourself, self-sustainability. You can sell things. It generates income. It's all kind of things that you could do with land. What's the most profitable land? Land in the South. Why is land in the South the most profitable? Because it's hot all year long. You can grow crops all year long for those reasons, right? So where's the place that they pushed us out from? Where's the place when you think of racism? Where did it come from more of? It came more from the South. When you talk about hangings and hanging from trees and public display of hangers and things like that, that was all the South. Why was that heavily concentrated in the South? That was to push this culture or a certain group of people to the North. And they tricked you or tricked us to come to the North. We call it the shiny because of the lights, New York City, fast life, Broadway, all of this stuff. Shiny shoes, flashy clothes. You get where I'm going with this? And we took that. We wanted that. And I understand why we wanted that. Why do we want that? We wanted that because we didn't want to be around the racism and the racism practices that was happening. People were actually getting killed and hurt. So I get it. They ran you out and they took all the land back. And it became not such a sexy thing to own land anymore amongst our culture because of some of the things that went along with it. I'm just saying that as time went on, that may not be your particular direct story, but it has stayed with us in our DNA, right? Our grandmothers, our mothers, these stories are passed down. There's still a fear of the South. You know, I'm not lying. There's a fear of the South. You still have sundown towns. You still have things that's happening. Bad things that's still happening. So we still have a fear of investing in the South and in rural areas. We still think that the only places that we should be is in city areas. And we're just here to say that from an investment standpoint, there is a way that you can invest in rural communities without being there. Investing. Now, if we're talking about living, that's different. Select wisely. I would not put my people out there to hang them dry. Select. I had a call with one of our mentees in our community, and she's from Georgia, and she said, Ray, I want to be 2 hours away from Atlanta, and I just don't know where to go. I'm looking at different places. Can you advise me of one place to go? I said, I really can't. That's a personal thing. I can't really advise you one when it comes to living, because you have to be comfortable where you live at. And 2 hours away from Atlanta, some things get sketchy still to this day. So what are you comfortable with? But from an investment standpoint, I don't understand why we don't invest in it. We heavily invest in, guess where? Mississippi. One of the most, I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you about the history. By the way, comment the word giveaway if you just jumped on the call to stand a chance to win that 1 acre of free land going down this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are 2 days away. Comment the word giveaway and join in on this conversation. So we heavily invest in Mississippi. I did a lot of deals in Mississippi. I've done a lot of deals in Arkansas, Louisiana. Those ain't like the most friendly areas for us. But as it pertains to dollars, green is the only thing that matter. Just the facts. Have I dealt with some of it? Just a little. A little. But nothing that stopped deals from going down. I've dealt with title company people in those areas. I have no problem. I deal with realtors in those areas. I have no problem. I deal with sellers and buyers in those areas, and I have no problem. And I know they know I'm not from there because I have a heavy New York accent. And I've been told by them, oh, I could tell you ain't from around here. So I question, why don't we invest in those rural markets when it's so much money available to regular people in those rural markets? Why do I use the word regular? Because that's where everyday people can afford. You cannot afford to invest in the city that you're from. And if you could, you would have been doing it. Stop me when I'm lying. So I always say, go to where you could afford to invest in it. Right? There's other ways to get money. Do you care where your money come from? Does it have to come from your city that you're in? Mine don't. My address is X, Y, and Z. Put the check in the mail. These days, send me my wire. Don't even waste your paper. So there's all kind of auctions all throughout the country. There's 3,200 counties in America. Guess what? Each county does some form of an auction. Tax deed, tax lien, or redemption state. Tax liens, I don't focus on tax liens, but you can play that game. You can learn it. You can play it. I don't advise you to play it if you don't have money. Let's stay there. Why? Why don't I advise you to play the tax lien game? Because if you don't have money or a lot to invest, and you buy a tax lien state they'll pay you a percentage of the price that you paid for the property, a percentage. That percentage varies depending on the state and county that you're playing in. On average, it ranges from 13% all the way up to, I believe, Texas these days has reached up to 30%. Right? Most Texas very, very, very hot because of the percentage that they pay on their money. But if you, even in Texas, even if you don't have a lot of money to invest and you win a lien, let's just say you bought a lien $5,000, five grand, and they're paying you 13% on top of the $5,000. It's okay. That's not a whole lot of money. And your money is tied up. You have to wait. That's why I don't advise new people or people that don't know the game to play that game. The big boys, they do well in that. They call it mailbox money. They'll buy so many liens, and every 6 months, the check will be here, another check will be there, another check will be there. But they're buying properties, you know, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. They're buying houses and stuff like that. Now, 13% on 50,000, 13% on 100,000, 13% on 200,000. That's different money than 13% on a $2,500 lien. So we advise tax deeds, right? We advise take the tax deed route. Why? Because with a tax deed, once you have the deed, you can sell it. Talking about from an investment standpoint, you can sell them. You can sell the deed for what the going price of the deed is in that area. So for regular people, you can get in $500, $1,000, $700, $1,500, and you can 3x, 4x, 5x your money. I'm just giving y'all exactly what worked for me. I'm just telling you that. See, the problem with us, here's the problem. Here's the problem with us. We don't want to wait for nothing. We want everything quick, fast, easy. And money, if it was quick, fast, and easy, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That's the problem with us. We want it quick, fast, and easy. And investing is not quick, fast, and easy. Will you have some sprouts at time? Absolutely. But I promise you, somebody on this call right now think that the Acre Boys, if I join them, I can make this to solve my financial crisis that I've been dealing with for the past 30 years, for the past 40 years, for the past 50 years, and you expect us to solve your financial crisis in 2 months. When you done screwed it up for 40 years, now you paid me a fee, and I'm supposed to fix it in 2 months. Success has a language. That's what I've learned. And if you don't speak that language, you won't be one of those successes. Meaning that land is a great place, but land is not why we have been able to be successful. It's who the individuals have had to become to be successful. We've had to show up every single day to be successful. On this live that we on right now, I was not in the mood to do this live tonight. I said to myself, do what you were supposed to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. Once you change and you start to shift your attitude and move like that, then everything else has no choice but to change along with you. Go back to what is what me and my partner say. Where am I going back to? The 9 to 5 that I never wanted to be at, the 9 to 5 that I talk all this crap about. I'm not looking to go back there. This has to work or this has to work. There's no plan B. There's no side basket. No, all the eggs is in this basket. And until you shift your attitude and move like that, I could give the game, I could give it to you A through Z. And in fact, the truth of the matter is I can give it to, if I gave it to 5 people, A through Z, step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, will all 5 implement them steps? Will all 5 be successful? Absolutely not. How do I know? Because we have had hundreds come through our doors inside of our program, and have all those people that entered, have all of them been successful? No. What's the difference between the ones that has been successful? What's the difference between the investors that made $100,000 in a month, that made $60,000 in a month, that made $40,000 in a month, to the ones that made zero? They was taught the same thing. So what's the difference? Is it the teachings, or is it the person that's taking the teaching? Same thing with college. How many people go to college a year? How many people graduate? Does the whole class graduate? Nope. I like to have like direct, hard conversations. I don't like to offend people, but I like to deal with, and I feel like I could talk to my people because I kind of got an idea how we think. And if it is stepping on somebody's toes, I hope it hurts enough for you to do something about it. Because I want to see you win. That's it. I want to see us win because we have the opportunity to win. We're in a day and stage that there's no reason or excuse why you can't win. Besides, you're not taking information and moving on it. Because hearing information and doing nothing with it is the same thing as not hearing information. So implementation is the name of the game. Intense implementation. Like your life depended on it. Because our data states that our message caters from the ages 35 through 70. And from the ages 35 through 70, I don't know when you're going to kick the can. It's a possibility that at any stage in between those ages, that anything can happen. And we all seen that happen. So you should be moving like your life depend on it. You should be moving like your children's life depend on it. You should be looking to set up. I'm assuming that by the time you're in between that age 35 on up, most women or most men as well have children. So you should be thinking about your children and setting them up through something that has been working, something that has been proven to work. Comment the word giveaway if you're just coming on this call. Comment the word giveaway to enter in free 1 acre land giveaway. You'll come. Now, once you comment that word giveaway, because we have to explain this, and we assume that people know what to do next. And I'm going to stop assuming. I want to make sure I'm thorough in explaining what to do. So once you comment giveaway, check your inbox, and there'll be a registration link for you to fill out the registration link to make sure that you claim your spot. The last giveaway, and I know when my giveaways are doing really well because I can see the numbers of registrants, right? And this one is doing really well, the amount of people that we're having sign up. And in previous times, sometimes the room was so packed that certain people couldn't get in. So I don't want that to happen again. So make sure that you're filling that out and you get your link to get in the room. It will be, promise you, it's going to be a really, really good time, informational and transformational, and somebody's going to walk away with the 1 acre. I really wish we can give away more, but we're moving in that direction and positioning ourselves to where we will be able to give away more. Key word, positioning. Focus on that word, positioning. Put yourself in position to help yourself. A lot of times we're out of position, so when things do come down the pipeline, we can't even act on them because we're out of position. Like, for example, there's an auction coming up January 5th. My community knows it because they're in position to accept and move on information that's transformational. So January 5th, there's a good auction that's opening up their doors that you can buy land $1,500 that you could sell for anywhere from, on the lowest end, 4,000, on the highest end. I just had a mentee sell hers for 18,000. But if you're not in position to take advantage of it, I don't know how to help. That's all I'm saying. And when we give it to the community, I don't handpick anybody. I give it to them as a whole. Whoever decides to do something with it, they do something with it. So get yourself in position and stay in position. This industry, this is all year long. There's an auction all year long. How often do people pay taxes? Right? How often do they pay taxes? Once a year. Within that year, within that process of people paying taxes, there's a percentage of the population that defaults on paying their taxes. And this is why you have tax sale auctions. How often does land sales, direct to owner land sales, big acreage and things like that, how often are these deals going down? I don't know. All year. In fact, how do I know that? Because my personal experience. Do I have the paper? I don't. Maybe y'all can read this. My personal experience. We just bought 30 acres last week. See if y'all can read that. Can y'all see that? I don't know if y'all can see that. But I'll read it to you. This is one of my investors. We gave him the money. We bought for what did we buy for? 67,000, something like that. We paid 67,000 for a 30 acre. I'm asking him in the text, when is the listing up for sale? Because we need to sell the property. You know, we like to move fast. And he hit me back and saying the listing is going live. We're selling the property for, damn, I didn't even know we were selling for no more. It says big track 140, small track 70. Damn, that's 210. So it was a buy for 67,000. List price is too thin, $210,000. That's a good deal. And we're in December, in the fourth quarter. Deals are always going down. Are you in position to take advantage of deals? Are you in position to start the new year off right with a potential sell, with a potential win? That is a great deal. Buy for 67, list for 210. I say list because we don't know what it's going to sell at. I hope it sell at 210. But if it don't, you know, hopefully we're not too far from 210. The more, the better. We call that meat on the bone in this industry. So the more meat on the bone, the better. And then we move. Like these days, I don't even get excited about like deals anymore because it's not about the one deal. And that's what we try to train our community about. Yeah, it's good. No matter how much money we make 100,000 off it is great. It's a great conversation piece. We make 1,500 and we make $5,000. Great. It's a good conversation piece. It's another deal. Like we don't plan on being out of this industry anytime soon. So I take the approach of on to the next deal. It's not about the one deal. It's about the deal after that one. Then when I get to that one, it's about the deal that's after that one. If you did 600, I'm trying to do 700. That's how I think. That's how I move. If you did 2, do 3. If you did 3, do 6. Like, it's not about how much money we're making. Get over the hurdle to where the money is not necessarily the issue. That's what you should be trying to do. I understand because it probably is the issue right now. But your job is to position yourself to get over the hurdle to where the money is not necessarily the issue. It's like dealing with social media. Like they say, right now, true story, right now, organically, my whole platform has been organic. We just started running ads a month ago. All of this has been organic. How you found this page has been organically, right? And somebody said, Damn, y'all do 2 posts a day, and y'all doing lives like 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. Yeah, that's what the input that it takes to. And we're probably not doing enough. If you're not moving, success has a language, people. That's all I'm saying. What level do you want to be on? What pace do you want to run at? I want to be as successful as I humanly possibly can. As I stated, I didn't want to do this live, but it's a part of the job description. I committed to doing something. I have to do it. I'd rather be laying down, maybe watching TV, doing something else. I would rather. But it is a part of the description now to come on and speak about this, to do a post a day, something that's meaningful. And when you start to move like that, that's when things start to change. Just telling you what has worked, not that it was land. See, somebody will come in and do land, they'll land a deal, take the money, go blow it, go shopping and all of this stuff. Now you back at square one. Did you really move the needle? Nope. Success has a language. First 2 years of making money in this space, we didn't touch a dime. We didn't take a dime of the money for 2 years straight. Can you be that disciplined? Can you build up the muscle to do something day in, day out until is when? Until you had enough and can't do it no more. Until you hit your goal. Then set a new goal. See, my goal, my until is like infinity. I don't plan on stopping. I just plan on setting a new until. Once I hit that one, then it's the saying, top of one mountain is the beginning of another one. Once we climb that mountain, and now we'll go climb a new mountain. All right. Comment the word giveaway. In all sincerity, Thursday night, we're going to give away 1 acre of land. This is really a big deal for us to be able to give away anything. For those that may not know, like, this land is not, nobody donates this land to us. This is like, we have to pay for this land that we give away. It's not donated land. Nobody gives this to us for free. So it's a big deal for us to be able to give it away. And I do know, because we have ran these giveaways now a handful of times, that it is deeply appreciated. And that's why we continue to run the giveaways. So I'm not taking it for granted that people are looking to take advantage of us. Our winners that we have given it to were deeply moved by winning it. And at the end of the day, everything can't just be always about money. Or, well, it could be about what you want it to be about. But on our platform, for who we are personally, being able to give something back is very important and meaningful. Bless and thou shalt be blessed. I did a topic in my private community called that the other day. Bless and thou shalt be blessed. If you're in position to say something, if you have a platform, say something intelligent. If you can give back, give back. That's the other issue in our culture. The people that have these platforms, you're not saying nothing. The time of playing is over. It's been enough play. It's been enough foolishness. Let's position ourselves to be great. Let's position ourselves to win. Let's position ourselves to move the needle in the financial department. Let's position ourselves to have these conversations on a daily basis. Let's position ourselves to take things that's informational back to our prospective places and share them. Let's work on the word community. She said, have you heard of agro real estate? I haven't. Drop it in the comments. Tell me about what agro real estate is. I would love to know. See, I'm very transparent that way. I don't know. Like, I know what I know, and I'm not ashamed to say what I don't know. And that's what I talk about community. See, when you have community, I don't have to know what you know. But you knowing what you know, and I know what I know, now we that more powerful. All right, I'm not going to introduce too many things. I don't want to confuse people. Let's get through Thursday. Let's say that. Let's get through Thursday. Show up Thursday. Comment the word giveaway before we get out of here. And then once we get through Thursday, we got a lot of new stuff that for the top of the year that I want to introduce. I won't do it tonight. Tonight, let's just stay focused on the giveaway. As I stated, it will be a really, really good night on Thursday. I have some guests that's going to stop by, and I want you to be there to just at least come feel the energy that's in the room. I promise you, it'll be dynamic. We've ran these before. They're always good, very impactful, very motivational. So get yourself in the room. Get around good energy, get around good information, and once you hear the information, the best advice I can give with the good information is to move on the information. Use the information. All right, y'all. Peace, love, good night. Get yourself ready for work tomorrow. We'll chat back in. Peace, love.